Sure as heck won't make the same mistake twice. That's just dumb. This won't be my first rodeo on whipping a new lawn from new construction into shape. I just went through this like 5 years ago, so it's relatively fresh on my mind. We've had a 10-inch snow blanketing the ground for the last few days, so I'm sitting inside just kind of pondering and thinking about what I did right and what I did wrong the first time around. So, let's tackle the two biggest mistakes that I made and I will not make again this time. Thank you for joining me. If it's your first time here, I hope it's not your last. I appreciate all of you who support the channel. It really means a lot to me. Leave me a thumbs up and a comment down below if you like what you see and hear, and if it helps you at all. That helps the channel out so much. So as I'm sitting here thinking about the four main things we always talk about here on Budget Lawns: mowing, fertilizing, watering, and weed control, I think to myself, well, what did I do right and what did I do wrong last time I built a house? This is my second time to build a house in 5 years. And considering those four things, well, I did the watering properly. I got an inch of water a week, so that's not a concern this time. I know I got that covered. And I didn't take care of any weeds in the first year last time, and that will likely be my course of action this time. I don't want to do a lot with chemicals, pre-emergence, post-emergence in the first year. I just kind of want the lawn to establish naturally and get as much strength as possible before I start covering it and that kind of stuff. So if I did the watering and the weed control the way I wanted to last time, what did I do wrong? Well, the other two. I completely whiffed on both of those last time. I did not mow nearly enough, and my fertilizing practices were just downright horrendous. So let's kind of break those two items down and talk about where I missed the mark and where I'm going to hit a home run this time. Well, let's talk about mowing first. And we got to get this out of the way. The last time I built a house 5 years ago, that was my first time to ever become a homeowner. Before that, I had only been a renter. I had never taken care of a lawn. The landlords did it for me. So I had no clue what lawn care meant at all. But the minute I became a homeowner and I realized that it was up to me, and the first impression of my home by other people was all on my back now, I realized pretty quickly that I was pretty clueless and had to figure things out. And I wanted to take the pride in my lawn that you see a lot of homeowners take, and I never understood that before. Well, now I kind of got a pretty good grasp on that. So I started knowing nothing last time, and because of that, I really screwed the pooch on mowing and fertilizing. When I'm talking about mowing, I did not mow nearly enough at all. I maybe mowed once a week, once every week and a half. And as we know, if you know much about lawn care at all, mowing is key to establishing a thick, healthy, lush lawn. So this time around, one of my main focuses in the beginning, aside from everything else, will just be making sure that I mow all the time, 2-3 times a week, because the more I mow, the better those roots will establish, the more I will promote that lateral growth. And if I have any rough patches from the new dormant Bermuda sod that was laid in the winter and being covered in ice and snow, well, if some of those areas don't come out of dormancy that healthy or at all, then just by mowing all the time, I can help promote those areas to fill in faster. So last time, I didn't hardly mow at all, and I just really struggled getting that lawn to establish. When that lawn was put in, we had a really wet spring, and I think a lot of it got drowned out, and then when things finally dried up, I was left with a lot of dead areas that just didn't make it through it. And if I would have just mowed a whole lot more, I would have been able to fill those areas in a lot faster. And when you do that and you fill things in faster, you don't even give the weeds and all those other things a chance to really overtake your lawn. And because I didn't get that to fill in fast last time, boy, my new lawn just got invaded by weeds so quickly. And then it caused me a lot of headaches on the back end trying to get rid of them and then eventually trying to prevent them. I really struggled with the white clover. I pretty much completely covered my front lawn. But with that said, the good thing is once you can eradicate it through post-emergent herbicides or eventually with pre-emergent herbicides, then once you get rid of them and you do all the cultural practices, then it kind of takes care of itself. But one thing you want to make sure with a new lawn that you're not throwing post or pre-emergent herbicides down too soon, because they will prevent those roots from establishing, and then you'll cause yourself even more problems in the long run. So, long story short, I'm going to mow all the time. I'm not going to let other things consume my brain in the beginning. I just want to make sure I mow and get it to start filling in, growing laterally, and getting thick as soon as possible, and that will prevent a lot of the other issues that may arise. Number 2, fertilizing. I maybe fertilized once that first summer. One time, and I only used Milorganite, an organic slow-release fertilizer. I know now that was all a huge mistake. I need to be fertilizing at least 4 times this first season. Now, I'll wait to do my first fertilization once everything comes out of dormancy and I can tell that those roots are really starting to take hold. That way, when I throw that fertilizer down, it's being used better by the roots in the soil. And I'm not just going to be using organic fertilizer this time. I am going to make sure that I'm doing a combination of both. The organic fertilizer just wasn't strong enough on a new lawn to help it establish. Wasn't enough nitrogen, wasn't enough phosphorus. I got to make sure that I'm sticking with more of the routine that I've developed over the last couple years. I did a video all about that. I'll leave it linked for you down in the description below. In that video, I talk about how I just keep things simple with a 1010 synthetic fertilizer, and I'll make sure I spread that all across my lawn and then come back with a bag or 2 of organic. Just depends on my lawn size. I don't know that yet here at the new house. I'll put the organic down after the synthetic, so I've got the stronger synthetic stuff that'll take hold and start working a little bit quicker, and then as it starts to wear off a couple weeks later, that organic slow release fertilizer will start kicking in, so I can spread those effects out a little bit longer. And then I get the synthetic fertilizers with the higher ratios of the elements in it, the nitrogen, potassium, and the phosphorus, and then the slow release organic that's providing a little bit of organic material to my lawn, which will help make the soil a little bit better in the long run. So those are the 2 huge mistakes I made last time. I will not make them again here at the new house. Remember, just mow a lot, fertilize regularly, water properly, 1 inch of water per week, and start taking care of those weeds on a new lawn. Delay that a little bit. It's okay. You want that new sod or that new grass that you seeded to really be strong enough to handle those chemicals before you just start dumping them all over it. All right, my friends, that's all I've got for you on this edition of Budget Lawns. I'm going to be bringing you all sorts of new lawn care content on new construction this season, so I hope you'll follow along here. Coming up soon, I'm going to tell you all about the number 1 thing I think you should be worried about on a new lawn before you're worried about grass type, leveling, smoothing, fertilizing, anything else. We're going to talk about that one thing coming up here on the channel real soon. Thanks again for joining me. We'll see you later.